Elizabeth Holmes, elderly 19, came up in an concept how she believed could changing the planet. Down there was fair one issue, it didn't job. Yet, how didn't halt her creation a much billion-buck business, Theranos, on the behind of it. No one she nor the business admits any offense, but the vision how created Theranos and done Ms. Holmes a multimillionaire was so and really corpse. Love all nice web begin UPS, Theranos and Ms. Holmes had a large history. Her dad treated for by the government agencies, frequently controlling E's job, and she was driven up needing to changing the planet for the superior. Elderly 19, she omitted out of Stanford College soon following filing her at first patent application, for a narcotic delivery patching how could regulate dose to suitable and person patient's bloodstream kind, and later upgrade doctor's cordless. The patching never done it to marketplace, but the big concept, the one on that the entire hype of Theranos was constructed, was a car how could testing for a kind of diseases via just a few tablet of bloodstream of a man's thumb. Natural, it too came in a history. As a kid she had despised needles, and she would speak how her mom and her grandma fainted at the view of them. But more than rather than how, it very could include been a play converter. Named Edison, following the innovator, it pledged to revolutionize bloodstream test. Theranos plan to accusation less than rather than part the rates loaded by medical care and medical care in the U.S., potential save the U.S. by the government $200 billion above the following 10 years. It would democratize the test trial, enabling nobody to get a testing made at a drugstore and include it analyzed in several hours. Theranos was which each depositor loves, and production destructor, a David to get on the Goliaths of the diagnosis production such as LabCorp and Search. By 2014 the business had grown more than rather than $400 meter and was valuable at on $9 billion. Ms. Holmes was cost on to Forbes Ammunition Depot, manufacturing her the youngest personality-made woman multimillionaire. She had as well confident big names onto her executive board, consisting two ex-U.S. Secretaries of Country, Henry Kissinger and George Shultz. In retrospective view, it is lightweight to spot out how few of the names, time-renowned, had lot to do in medical or scientific. Meantime, Ms. Holmes was an enumerator's vision. She treated a Steve Jobs picture, tiring just dark turtleneck sweaters in social. She cited Jen Austen by cardiac. She went vegetarian and talked eagerly of her favorite wheatgrass celery cucumber verdant sap. She tell on panels in draft Clinton, and gave passionate TED negotiations. Down there was though say of manufacturing a cinema relying on her, previously noble bad bloodstream. But if she talked the say, down there were hints how Theranos did not rather go the go. To begin in down there was the intrusive privacy. Ms. Holmes was founding member, head execution and president. Anything was made out of her adoption. And while it came to speaking on Edison, the blind came downward. The is which she told to a New Yorker interviewer while he requested how Edison treated, a chemical is executed so how a chemistry response occurs and generates a alarm of the chemistry cooperation in the specimen, that is transferred in a outcome, that is later discussed by certificated lab staff. Was the privacy, or a lit up? Not all was a faithful draft. Maris, who rest Google Ventures, GV, in 2013 solved not to put. In an interviewing in Industry Inside, Maris told he had got a term of his lifetime science invest crew to get the bloodstream testing. It rotated out. It wasn't as easy as the transparency declared. Maris told, it wasn't how hard for nobody to define how things may not be which they appear there. One reporter who was more than rather than suspect was the Side Road magazine's John Carrero. A couple-time Pulitzer Award victor, he treated with patience to discover out which was very departure on at Theranos, speaking to employees who begun to speak a really various history of how of the blinding social picture. Several were proverb how the Edison results were inexact. Others show how the extensive most of tests were not made in the Theranos labs at all, but in usual machines purchased of main suppliers. The Centers for Medical Care and Medical Care Services, that watch bloodstream test laboratories, annulled Theranos license. During a year the business began closing downward its labs and laid down off more than rather than 40% of its complete-time employees. Forbes Ammunition Depot fixed MS Holmes' riches downward to anything. The business has kept and controlled to get funding to restore himself, but as of environment MS Holmes lose monitoring of it, gave up all her shares and was penalized $500,000. Looming above her is the opportunity how Fed prosecutorial will conduct penal extortion. The SEC summarized up which was incorrect in MS Holmes and Theranos in a murderous paper. Innovators who search to revolutionize and violate and production must speak investors the true on which their technique can do present, not fair which they expect it might do come. Theranos told, same business is happy to be earning the question to a shut and looks striker to progressive its technique. It is now banking business on a new growth, the mini lab, that it says combines the capabilities of an matrix of conventional diagnostics tool. But it has an heavy fight. In spite change its control and reorganization, it has a repute how will be difficult to dwell downward, in or out of Elizabeth Holmes.